Welcome to today's session. So nice to have you all here. All right, so all right. Let me keep it right here. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to today's session. So nice to have you all here today. Let me see. All right, so we're already there. So, welcome everyone. How are you doing today? How is your weekend going? So nice to have you all here today. The poll is already out, so please be sure to fill in your votes so that we will all see it. Okay, sit down, grab a snack because this one, I'm still confused till today. So listen right, all right? So let me tell you what happened to a friend of mine last month. So grab your seats and let's get started, all right? So like this thing still cracks me up because how is it possible that you would lose a whole cake, right? So hi Casey. So my friend's brother was having a party because of, he finished and got a very good grade, and all of a sudden there was like this party that was thrown to make, like to encourage him to do more. So my friend decided to buy this cute cake to celebrate the moment, to make it all spicy and all. And then the cake was really adorable. It was very beautiful when she sent me the picture. So it was sort of blue with icy sparkles, all of that glitters on it. It was really amazing. Hi Camille, welcome to this live. So she bought the cake, all right, and she kept it in the fridge overnight, and the whole plan was to surprise him in the morning, since it was more like a surprise party for him. And when she woke up the next morning, she decided to go and bring it out from the fridge so that it would be ready, so that once the party begins, the cake would be there. Hi Crash Out, welcome. So when she decided to go to get the cake, she decided that something went off, and that is that the cake was gone. Hi Abiola, welcome. So the cake just vanished, like disappeared. Poof, no crumbs, no box, no icing, no whatever, and everything just went. Even the bag, everything was empty. So it was just as though the cake just never existed. And she was like, what is going on here? How did the cake vanish? So I'm gonna tell you how it happened, Abiola. So she started asking everybody, and by everybody I mean everybody. She went to her mom and she asked, Mom, where is it? And her mom was like, don't look at me, I don't know where it was, you're the one who bought it. And then she goes to her brother, who was not aware of the cake, and he was like, what cake? Is there a cake? And then, because he didn't know that there was a cake, so later on she was like, is this how the cake vanished into thin air? No evidence, no nothing. So it was just gone. So at this point, she was like thinking, you know what? Maybe the cake fell, all right? Or maybe someone ate it. Maybe like a little cousin who came over. Maybe one of them ate it. You know, those little cousins that we have that sometimes do eat things without letting others know. So she was like, oh, maybe that's what she did. Hi, Tanya. I hope I got it right. Welcome. So she even went ahead to sort of call um, her cousin to know if the cousin sort of like, oh my gosh, my ring light is misbehaving. Just a second, let me fix it out. All right, I've turned it so it's twitching a bit. All right. So she was like, let's go ask the cousin to know exactly what happened, because she's like, I knew I bought cake, so the cake can't just disappear without me knowing. Like something should have happened, right? And so she asked her cousin, and her cousin was like, no, I didn't eat the cake. I didn't even know the cake existed in the house. And so she even had to send me a message, and I was like, girl, why are you sending me a message? I'm not yet at your house. How would I be with the cake? So so right. So here is the thing. It turned out that after she ended the call with me, she opens the freezer to triple check at this moment, and she finds that it is empty. She checks the microwave, it's also empty. She even checked the oven, and it was also empty. And she was like, what is happening over here? All right, okay, just a second, something, let's see. All right, just a moment. All right. Okay, so it's back on. Sorry about that, it was twitching a bit, so now it's much stable now. All right, so where was I? Yeah, so it happened that after checking the fridge, the microwave, the cake was still missing. So she checked under the sofa if there would be even a crumb of the cake, and it turned out that there was nothing. Like it disappeared literally. So this cake just, as though it grabbed the bag and just left without any trace at all. And she was like, what's on here? So this is what later happened on, and this happened around like a few hours to the party starting. It was starting at noon. That was when the party was starting out. So she sits down in the dining table, and then guess what? Just guess what happened to that cake. So she is like, if nobody cares about what happened to the cake, if nobody took the cake, then the cake just magically grew wings and flew. Like, where in the world is it? She started to even wonder if she had that cake with her. But the real evidence that made her know that the cake was with her was that she had the receipt. So she was like, really? What is going on? Then, hours later, that was like when the party was already starting out. The father came in, like her dad came in, and then he confessed. So, please, someone tell me why it is that her father had to take the cake, put it in his car, and then drove around with it. Like, he took it, put it in the car, drove around it, and then forgot the cake there. So, it was like she was searching around looking for where her cake was for the party. Her dad that she asked was like, I don't know where it is. Then finally remembered that he kept the cake, he kept it in his car and drove it. And then he left his car there and then came back the next day. And she was like, this doesn't even make sense. Why would you take the cake there? And then he said he was trying to hide it, because she kept it safely. So he was like, no, you didn't keep it well. So he wanted to hide it so that the kids wouldn't touch it. And when he went to work, he was like, let me take the cake with me so that no one would touch it, no one would have access to it, everything would still be there in place. So when he later came back with the car after realizing it, it turned out that when they opened the car to get the cake out, the cake had already melted. Like, oh my god, it had melted in a way that everything just looked like a sad pancake. It was just flat. It didn't even really have any trace of, like a cake that you could eat. It was just more like a sad pancake like that. So that was what later happened. So when he came back with that box, it was just sliding. The sprinkles were gone. The name was dissolved, and it looked more like soup. All right, it looked just like soup. So they just saw the way it was, and the party had already started, but she really wanted that cake. So what they did was that they rushed all the way to the bakery, and they were begging to buy anything, like anything, just so that the cake would be among the other beautiful things that they were including in the party. And I was like, wow, this is a real big deal. So the boy, that's her brother, was like, oh, you don't really have to go through all of this. But she was like, no, because getting a passing grade was no mere joke in their family. It was something that was a big deal, like a great achievement. And honestly speaking, it wasn't that nice so to have that cake not available. So they rushed and bought just about anything just to make the case better. And then the boy did get the cake, even though it was not what he expected. It was a dinosaur cake kind of cake. So he doesn't even like dinosaurs, alright? So he cried, then he tasted the cake, then he cried again, and he was like, okay, it's not bad. Alright? So he was like, okay, not bad. It's okay, because he couldn't complain at all. So, do you want to know the funniest part of everything that happened that day? The funniest part was that her father was like, it's not his fault. He was just trying to help. And he was like, the cake should have reminded me. And I'm like, how could the cake remind you? The cake can't even talk, so how would it remind you? It was like, maybe it should have phoned him. Maybe the cake should have given him a call like, hello, mister, you've forgotten me in the car. So I was like, oh my gosh, like it was not something that she expected. But the good part about all of it is that later on, everyone had a good time. I had a good time. She had a good time. Everyone was happy during that party. And what's more is that he, the boy everyone was throwing the party for, was also happy. So that's what happened at the party with the cake incident. But let me know, like, if you were the one, what would you have done? Because honestly, I would have screamed if not I didn't find that cake. It would be as though it just poof vanished into thin air. Like, that's not possible. How can I buy cake and I'm looking for that cake? It's kind of awkward. And have you ever found something missing and it's like it was right here with you and then it just vanished? That also does happen. So, what about you? Has it ever happened to you before? Maybe, you know, for instance, it does happen if I am holding like a phone and I'm looking for a phone with my phone touch. So it does happen at times. So yeah. So someone in the comments or in the chat if you're watching right now. All right. So someone can also see that as something that happens a lot. And if your dad happened to be the one that carried the cake to work and then still says that he's not the one that caused it, you'll be like, oh my gosh. But she later did forgive him, alright? Although it wasn't kind of easy. Alright. So, we already have a lot of votes right now. I really appreciate that for the votes right here. That's really great. So, that is what we have for the cake incident. And that's just how the cake mystery did come to being solved. All right. So if your cake ever disappears, that's if it ever does disappear, you can decide to go check your dad's car to see if it happens to be there. All right. So that's what we have, the story that I would like to share with you all today. So thank you all so much for joining me today in the session, and hopefully we would still have more like this. All right. So for those who have also given their votes right there, thank you so much. I love all your efforts and love that you've shown towards this channel. I really do appreciate it. So thank you all so much. Till next time, have a wonderful day. Mwah. Bye bye.